Hello, welcome. Oh, I didn't do my little intro dance. Hi, welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. That's me. Thanks for watching. I am live on Periscope every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day. That's also Twitter, if you don't know what Periscope is. I'm also live right now on YouTube, so you might be watching this on the replay. Either way, please like, subscribe, share, follow, all the things on all the places. I appreciate that very much. All my social media links are on the website, nextjuice.com. And let's start out with a big, huge round of applause. Okay, I can't be that loud. My kids are asleep. My stepkids are asleep. So huge thank you for these individuals, these amazing people that make this channel possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all the support in making this channel possible. The best way to join them and to help me to keep this channel going, if you find this content valuable, is to click that link in the description, nextjuice.com/support, and help me to keep this going. I also promote businesses and brands on here to my nearly 300,000 viewers every single month, so feel free to get on that as well. If you click the link in the description, just navigate to the shop page where you'll find that. Hi Dave, hey Danny. You're not the first comment. The first comment was actually Cher. Hi Cher, she even said first. Hi John. Hey Busty, I love you as well. Hillbilly Horror, thank you for the first super hearts of the broadcast. Good to have you here. Thanks for coming in, guys. I know it's like 2 in the morning. Hey Mark, you were heading to bed? It's Saturday night. You know, we can stay up a little late on Saturday night. I also took a little nap. Hey Ryan, hey everybody. Okay, so tonight's book review is on this one. Be the Best at What Matters Most, The Only Strategy You Will Ever Need by Calloway. Did I spell his name wrong in the title? I spelled it right on YouTube, but I think I spelled it wrong. Yeah, I spelled it wrong on Periscope. Sorry, Joe. My bad. It's actually Calloway. But if you search Be the Best at What Matters Most, you'll find the book. Hey, Tiki. Hi. Hello. All right, so for those of you who are new, I am a live streamer. So I do all this live. I read a lot of the comments. I engage with the community. That's actually what the Nex in Next Juice means, is nexus. It's a connected group of people, and that's what we are. So if you don't want to sit here and listen to all the chatter during the broadcast, you can definitely just sign up for my book reviews, which are totally free, and I only email them out 3 times a year. So once every 4 months, you'll get 1 email from me with a summary and review of all the books I've read over that 4-month period. So you can sign up for that for free at nextjuice.com. I think it's one of the most valuable things that I offer on this channel, and it's just a written up version with a link to the book if you want to get it. So it's a bite-sized chunk of what I'm going to be sharing with you today, where I'm going to go through all the different chapters, talk about what the book is about. And this book does have technically 25 chapters, so this might be a bit of and it's really interesting content. It's also something that there might be a lot of discussion about, so feel free to chat. And that's kind of how we run this. Sometimes these reviews are 15-20 minutes long, and sometimes they're 2 hours long, so we're just gonna see where it goes. Brian, super hearts, thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate that. Hi Julian. Late Sunday here, Miss Neck Juice. Oh, Bill, seriously, you have so many usernames. I can't even recognize you when you come in until you call me Neck Juice. Hey there, Bill. How's it going? Thanks for the super hearts. Yeah, it is pretty late. Oh, you have work in the morning. All right, Mark. Well, sleep well. Sleep well. Don't let the bed bugs bite. How long did it take to read 25 chapters? Hey, Tiger. Tiger, you look like Mike. Did you know that? Mike Macefield. You guys are twins, I think. Maybe long lost, separated at birth twins. So this book was actually a little bit of a cheat. So for those of you who don't know, I read a lot of books. This was the second time I read this book. The first time I read it, I was like, whoa, this is so deeply profound. This is awesome. How I got this book was kind of random. One of my friends was just trying to get rid of some of the books that she had. I kind of perused through them. This is one I grabbed from her, and it ended up being really, really good. I liked it a lot, as well as the Lapsed Anarchist's Approach to Being a Better Leader is another great book I got from her shelf. It's a lot thicker than this one. The concept of this book is simple though, and in terms of how long it took me to read, less than 1 day. So I read about 12 books in 1 week at the end of 2019 because I had a goal of reading 52 books for that year, and I was behind. So I was reading 2 books a day for a week, and this was one of them. So I definitely flew through it. I did not read all the words in the book, especially the second time around. I read it once before already. And the title says it all. Being the best at what matters most. And I think one of the chapter titles really sums this up in a really great way, which is chapter 20, which is called When Everything is Pursued, the Important is Neglected. This is very similar to a more recent book, I think it's more recent, called The One Thing by Gary Keller, who's big in the real estate world. You may have heard of Keller Williams. He wrote a book called The One Thing. Love that book. Highly recommend that book. This book's very similar. I would recommend this one as well. I gave them both 5 stars, I think. I definitely gave this one 5 stars. It's a really simple concept, but it's not necessarily easy to do. So I talk about a lot of things in terms of entrepreneur and business because that's what I do, that's how I think, and that's what a lot of my audience resonates with. A lot of my audience are entrepreneurs and business owners. So you may not be. You may be an employee, you may be thinking about starting your own business or just starting a business, and some of these things you'll figure out as you go. But it is very easy to get bogged down, and even if you're an employee, getting bogged down with busy work. I was talking to another broadcaster on Periscope about this last night, Miss Ray Herring, who's a musician, and she was talking about how she's really been focusing so much on the business aspect of her career and working on the business that she hasn't been prioritizing music. And she's a musician, she's a songwriter, and she plays many different instruments, she sings. And and her husband told her, well, maybe just first thing in the morning, after you take your shower, brush your teeth, whatever, the first thing you should do is play music and just explore music in whatever way you feel led to do that day. Because that's really your passion, and that is the most important part of your business, because that's her service, right? That's really what's most important. I think that was actually really great, wise advice that she got from her husband, being the best at what matters most. You can be the best business person ever, and if you're trying to monetize your music and your music sucks, which Ray's does not, but if it does, you could be the best business person in the world. You're not going to sell anything because your music sucks. That's like if you were trying to sell a product that sucks, you could be very savvy and not sell anything. So the most important thing in this case would be like your music and actually staying connected with music and keeping your music skills in tip-top shape. So I'm seeing a lot of comments roll in. Let me catch up real quick. Tiki, thank you for the super hearts. Thank you for the taka. Tiki is actually all the way from Bangladesh. I love that. I love that we can connect all around the world with all these lovely people. Super hearts for the superhero. Oh, well, thank you. Gracias, Marcos. Please don't call me baby, though. Hey, Casablanca, welcome back. Good morning, all the way out in London. Where is everybody else tuning in from? Feel free to comment. Hey, Victoria. Mike said he loves this book. You tell your imaginary wife to play music, too? And then do you hear the music in your head? And then do you dance to it like I do? There's no real music anybody can hear, but... Cry me a river. That's what I was listening to earlier. Justin Timberlake, 2002 album, Justified. Why am I like this? Okay, Mike, did you actually read this book, or you're just saying you love the concept? That's cool if you read this, because I don't think I ever would have found this book if I didn't have a friend who happened to have it on her shelf, and I think she recommended it to me as well. I do that every morning with music, it sets a positive vibe for the day. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I can only see Mike and Tiki, so I better come back when my Wi-Fi fixes itself. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It looks like my connection's pretty good, so if you guys have to switch from Periscope to YouTube, if the signal's a better connection over there, that's cool with me. All right, so another great book that talks about this similar concept, and I think I like the way that it helps you to prioritize, is called Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog by Michael Gerber, and they really break down a very, very beneficial way to prioritize the things you have to do each day. Now, I used this when I was an employee, so this is applicable for all of us. Going back to the busy work concept, there are so many things that we can do in a day. I could spend all day cleaning out every single corner of every baseboard in my house and changing all the hinges and doorknobs if I wanted to, right? I mean, I could put up new curtains every single day and change all the bedding and all the rooms in the house and just spend a whole lot of time doing a lot of unimportant stuff. And that's what a lot of people do. And that's what we all do sometimes in certain days. We do unimportant things. We do things that really aren't pushing us towards our goal and what we want to do. And that's very dangerous, because what can end up happening if you do that day after day, week after week, after month, after year, all of a sudden you look around and you realize that you're living and working towards someone else's dream and someone else's goals and visions, because that person stayed focused and they prioritized the most important things and they made sure to be the best at what matters most, and you just ended up helping them on their journey, which is all fine and well if that's what you want to do, but just don't have regrets. You know, you don't want to get to a certain point in your life and say, wow, I've been working for someone else's goal for the past 20 years. And what about what I want? What is it that I want to do? Maybe you're a parent and that's what you want to do. You want to work, help someone else with their business and their vision. You're not an entrepreneur. You don't want to run your own business. You don't want all that responsibility. You don't have great management skills. You really just want to be told what to do, when to show up, what the expectations are, get your paycheck, and then deal with, the rest of your life at home, which is fine. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I know that I'm talking to a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners out there, and that we should realize that if we don't stay focused and focusing on the most important things, then we're going to miss it. We're going to miss a lot of opportunities, and we're not going to make the progress that we probably want to make. Mike said, my life. Oh. Salam, alaikum salam. I do not approve eating a frog. Yes, it's just a figure of speech. So the concept of eating that frog is that it'd be the worst thing that if you had a to-do list today, one of the things was eat a frog. That would be the worst thing that you had to do that day, most likely, right? To eat a frog. Most of us aren't really like, oh, yay, frog meat, my favorite. So it's just something that would be, some people are kind of grossed out by it. It's just something a little bit visceral, a little bit of a clickbaity title, of the book. But it's just to say, do the hardest thing, the thing that you don't want to do first. Do the most important thing first. And oftentimes the most important thing we can do is the thing that we want to do the least, or the hardest thing. And remember, a lot of these things aren't necessarily complicated. Sometimes you may have complicated things you need to do, and even if it is complicated or if it's just difficult or challenging, it can be really easy to procrastinate that and feel like, oh, I had a productive day. I went to the gym, I made, I did food prep, meal prep, whatever you call it. I don't know because I don't do it. I read, 5 books. I cleaned out my email inbox. I unsubscribed to a bunch of junk emails. You know what I mean? Like, you can fill the day and be like, look at all these things that I crossed off my to-do list. I had a great day, a really productive day. But really, if you had just done that one most important thing that day, your day would have been significantly better spent. And then, the best part about doing the most important thing first is then you can do whatever you want the rest of the day. It really doesn't matter because you've gotten the most important thing. I can pretty much guarantee you that if you just do the one most important thing every single day, it does not matter what you do the rest of the day. You are going to be ahead of most of your peers, most of everyone's peers, because there's not a lot of people doing this. It's easy to preach it, right? I don't do it every single day. It's easy to sit here and say, obviously that makes the most sense, but some people this may be a brand new concept to you. You may never have thought of this before. And even more likely, you're probably not doing it, even if you are exposed to the concept. So you can make your list, write down all the things that you plan to do today, and then you can categorize them. And then you'll find whatever is the most important thing that must be done today, do that first. And then ideally, you're not going to just do nothing productive the rest of the day. Hopefully, you'll then go to the next most important thing, then the next most important thing, the next most important thing, and get as many important things done. That's really going to exponentially leverage you against your peers and other people and really catapult you into great success. But even if you just do that one most important thing every day, you're still going to be way ahead of the game. So don't get overwhelmed by thinking you have to be wildly productive. And part of our psychology here, I'm a psychology major, and part of our psychology with to-do lists is that we want to cross off as many things as possible. So we think quantity over quality. We preach, quality is more important to us than quantity. I want to have a few really close, good, secure, quality relationships. I don't need to have tons of friends. Okay, well, same thing with your to-do list. If you just get 1, 2, 3, 5 or less really important things done off that list, that's way better than doing 20 pointless things. Like if I was to alphabetize my bookshelf. Why? Like, maybe make it easier to find a book one day. I don't have that many books. It's pointless. It's not helping me towards any of my goals. My goal is to get a home in Florida. My goal is to put $6,000 into my retirement account this year. My goal is to read 20 books this year. My goal is to bring in $120,000 on this channel over this year. So alphabetizing my bookshelf is not helping me towards any of that. Now, there are certain things, like if you could see my work area right now, it is very messy. It's very cluttered. It's really not looking good. What you guys see, I think, looks decent, right? I have my vision board here. It's all clear and nice. But I'm hiding some of my dirt, sweeping the dirt under the rug. But that's something they talk about, I think, in this book. But sometimes I read so many books, I cross them over. So bear with me as I promote 5 books every time I talk about one. The One Thing by Gary Keller, he definitely talks about how when you focus on one thing, other things will be neglected. And that's okay if those things aren't important. It is really not important that there's random books just kind of strewn about on my desk right now. It's not ideal, and yeah, if I had that clean, I would feel really good. It only takes a little, it would probably take me 1 to 2 hours to really clean this to a level that I'd be comfortable with, and I do that sometimes. Every few months, maybe. I don't spend a lot of time cleaning because it's, cleaning is one thing, like dirt, vacuuming, cleaning, but organizing is another, right? Organizing my books. It's not that important, right? I don't need to do that right now. It's not imperative to my most important thing, so it doesn't get done, and that's okay. And you're going to notice that in your life as you start to prioritize the most important things, other things are going to go to the wayside. Now, my boyfriend gave me a really interesting metaphor the other day, and I'm going to catch up on comments, which is the glass ball versus the rubber ball. So what he said is that it's important for entrepreneurs to realize that your business is a rubber ball. If you drop it, if you kind of let things go for a little while, it bounces. It can bounce back. You can get it back. You can recover it. Your relationships and your health is a glass ball. If you drop that, it's more likely to crack. It's more likely to break. It's more likely to be much more difficult to repair than a rubber ball, metaphorically speaking. So realize that wealth and business are important, but not as important as your health and secure, loving relationships. There's actually something else I studied in actually studied this in my speech class, my oral communication class, but regardless, it's a psychological study. It's called the Study of Adult Development. They've been doing it over 75 plus years at Harvard University. And what they found is the key to long-term happiness and living a longer life and actual health and memory is at least one secure quality relationship. Being in a loving relationship with someone that you truly feel that you can count on in your rough times. If you go through a tough patch, that you really think that you can lean on this person, you can rely on them. That is the key to being happy, to being healthy, to legitimately living a longer life. So if you're in a really stressful relationship with someone who you don't feel like has your back, there's really no better time to change that up, because that actually shortens your life. It's actually linked to shorter lifespan. So, you could be the wealthiest person in the graveyard, as Steve Jobs very wisely put, but most people, that's not their goal. So prioritize your health, prioritize your relationships, and then, wealth is always something that you can kind of focus on later. All right, so I'm turning yellow here because my my computer just went into night mode. So let me just quickly turn that off. Okay, much better. All right. I forgot I read that. Great book. Oh my God, you guys all read this? That's crazy. I love Justified, the album. Oh. Okay, all right. I know some of you are going to be like, I don't see these comments. I'm catching up. I'm helping you to be a Peri goddess. A goddess? That's like a very strong term coming from you. Is the frog alive? Regardless. I had frog once, tasted like chicken. Dave, you're not helping. I've eaten a frog burnt before. Wait, how many of you have actually eaten frogs? What's up with my friends? The frog tastes like chicken. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is too much. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Mark. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming in. Brittany! Oh my gosh. Oh, Brittany, I forgot you called me. You called me while I was live yesterday. I'm like, someone tell Brittany to stop calling me. I forgot to call you back. I totally forgot that you called. This is huge. One of the best things you can do. Yes, it's the most important thing you can do. And things will change. So like right now I'm a student. So for a while I was just an entrepreneur for about 2.5 years. I was just running my business full time. And that was great. I was just working with my business all the time. Now I'm a student. I have to realize that I have to kind of prioritize that sometimes. I would love to just focus on my business all the time, but I also want to become a psychologist. And that will be my business in the future once I get the degree. Well, if I fail out of my classes, I'm not going to get the degree. So I have to prioritize my schoolwork over my business sometimes, even if it's hard to do. And same thing with relationships. If you're like me and you just love your business, it can be hard to prioritize playing games with your kids because you feel like you're not being productive, but you are. There's no more important relationship than, I mean, it's a toss-up between you and the other parent and the children. Dutchman, hello, how are you? You're gonna not be ahead if you are a frog. I mean, if you have the strongest legs and you can jump further and faster than all the other frogs, you might still be ahead, at least of the other frogs. Food for thought. Hi. I'm doing good, Bobby. How are you doing? Thanks for coming in. I saw your work area, Mom. Do you guys want to see it? Do you want me to open work area right now? Hi, Ever. I'm good. How are you? How are you? Thank you for coming in. Even my husband said, oh my God, she better clean that. He did. When? When did you even see that? You're lying right now. Who's your husband? Is it Sonam? Thank you, Dutch. I tend to neglect my toenails. I actually have to clip my toenails right now. You want to see? Everyone's like, no, I don't want to see. Taylor, don't show me your toenails. It's happening. It's happening. Get ready. I need to cut them. See? It's like they're like chipping off. These ones look okay, but... See, they're chipped, and it was Chip who said he neglects his toenails. Yeah, Ed won't let me clip his toenails, even though I offer to do it all the time. One of the books on my desk just fell off. It's that bad. I put the book that I'm reviewing on the desk, and another book fell off. Oh, that's too much here. I have some garbage over here. Let's throw that away. I'm going to catch up with comments, and then I'm going to do a quick commercial break. And then we can keep going with the book. And I really only threw away that trash because I'm afraid that you guys are going to make me open desk. Steve Jobs is the wealthiest person in the graveyard. Yeah, I know. Sad. I was talking about Eat That Frog. Hello. I think I'm losing the stream of the chat here. Hi, Saul. I'm only 4 messages behind, though. Frog legs, food for thought. I'll look down and say, damn, you little fellers need a trim. Yes, and then you trim them. The best time to trim your toenails is after the shower, because they're nice and, like, softened. All right. Frog is going to be ahead until you eat him. Well, yeah, and I'm going to eat the biggest, juiciest frog first. That's what next juice means. It means frog juice. No. Number's going to go crazy. Not too bad. I'm seriously a world-class procrastinator, so multitasking is my newest hobby. Interesting, Hector. So actually studies have shown, I think particularly with men, that multitasking is virtually impossible. Katie, hi! Because you can really only, the human mind can really only give its focus and energy to one thing at a time. Now, if the two activities occupy different parts of the brain, you can do more than one thing at a time. For example, my last broadcast on Periscope, I was walking on the treadmill, I was live, and I was reading a book. So reading the book and reading the comments occupy the same part of the brain, right? Reading. So I couldn't do those two things at the same time. I had to stop reading the book so I could read the comments, and I had to stop reading the comments so I could read the book. But talking, walking, and reading are 3 things that I assume must take up different parts of the brain, because I can do that just fine. And you'll notice, like, if you're driving and you're having a conversation with someone in the car, you can have that conversation just fine until something weird starts happening on the road. You have to figure out, oh, do I turn here? Or, oh, what's this guy doing? He's pulling out in front of me. Whatever's going on. Oh, we got road work over here. Or is this cop pulling me over? You know, once something requires a little bit of extra energy and a little extra of mental focus, you cut off the other thing, so you can't listen anymore. You'll be like, oh yeah, so hang on, I gotta figure out where I'm going. Okay, all right, yeah, and then continue the conversation. So you can kind of see that inability to really truly multitask. And the key is not multitasking. The key is doing the one most important thing first, and then the next most important thing, and the next most important thing. And you really have to demand that other people respect your time and your calendar and your schedule. You are very important. The things that are most important to you are very important, and you might need to actually physically put them in your calendar so that other people don't take that over. Because people don't always, as entrepreneurs especially, I feel like people don't really respect the fact that we have a business to run. They think, oh, well, you're an entrepreneur. You work from home. You can babysit my kids because you don't have anything going on. You don't have a job. It's stressful. Because if you had a job, like if you had to go work 9 to 5 somewhere, they're like, okay, well, you can't come watch my kids because you have a job. But if I run my business, they're kind of like, oh, well, you can just work on it another time. Like prioritize my needs, my desires, what's important to me, and then do your stuff later. And it's like, okay, no. I'm not a babysitter. That's not my business. Personally, that's how I feel. Some of you guys might be very self-sacrificing and you might do like anything other people ask you to do. And chances are you're probably not wildly successful. You might have a successful social life. People might really like that they can count on you. But don't let people walk all over you. Don't let people take advantage of you. And don't be afraid to say no. It's okay to say, no, I have an appointment at that time. Even if the appointment is, reorganizing one of your pages on your website or something, like that's an appointment that you have with yourself. They don't need to know details. Oh, sorry, I have an appointment that time. I have a meeting that time. Maybe it's a meeting with yourself. Maybe you're meditating during that time. People don't need all the details of your life. Just honor your schedule and your commitments and make sure that you demand that honor and respect from other people, and respect them as well. Don't expect them to change up their plans last minute for you either. There's give and take in relationships, but there's also respect. In reality, you're doing more work than most normal employees. I would say it's higher level work. Number of hours is questionable. Yeah, because people will go to work. If you think about, if you're an employee and you're driving to work, let's say you drive 20 to 30 minutes each way. So there's an extra hour on your work day, which is usually 8 hours long. You might get an hour for lunch. So now you're up to 10 hours of your day. If you sleep for 8 hours a night, you now have 6 hours of time from when you first wake up, to eat outside of lunch, to relax, to spend time with your family, your friends, to have a social life, to get to the gym, help do meal prep, especially if you're going to be going into work and not able to, prepare your food very well from there. It's a lot of time spent, and the other side of that sword is that employees aren't always wildly productive during that time. From what I've heard, and I haven't checked into this myself, that they've studied with 40-hour work weeks and 30-hour work weeks, and they found that people get the same amount of work done. They have the same amount of output in the 30-hour week as they do in the 40-hour week, because the 40-hour people are just basically filling up 10 extra hours with talking with their coworkers, or checking their phones or their Facebook, or taking personal calls, or spending time in the bathroom, taking a poop. I mean, who knows? One of my friends texted me one time and she's like, I'm pooping at work right now. It's like I'm getting paid to poop. And I'm just like, that's like every entrepreneur's worst nightmare. Like, I don't want to pay someone to be taking a dump, and they're like excited about it, and they're going to like take, check their phone and just kind of hang out in there as long as they want. It's not very efficient. You know what I mean? They're kind of detached from the idea that we need to be productive to bring the money in so that we can pay you. But I think high-level employees oftentimes probably do become entrepreneurs, or they become very high, maybe executives or managers in the work that they do. I'm multitasking every time I watch your Periscope. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, and you probably miss a lot of it. It's like audiobooks. That's why I don't listen to audiobooks, because I have to read it, because I have to give it my focus. Because if I'm just listening, it's so easy for my mind to wander, and then I go, oh, when did I stop listening to what the book was saying, or to what the Periscope person was saying? Next use is Bengali word for, oh my god, mom is off her medication again. I don't take medications, and I didn't ever take medication, so I'm not off medication. You are a troll. You are a high-level troll. Thank you, Chip, for the super hearts. You and Tiki are the same color. Ooh, 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 ooh. Thank you for the super hearts. Thank you, thank you. Did you guys see that? It's gonna hit me in the face. Okay, why did I pick this up? Why did I pick this up? Put it down. Put it down. Put it on the floor. Okay. Don't play with that right now. Multitasking is my expertise. Ask anyone and any teacher. I listen to my music in the car. We have 2 eyes, though. We should be able to read 2 books. It's ridiculous. I know exactly what you mean. People think you stay home and watch TV or something. Yeah. Well, maybe because that's what they do when they're home, right? Because they work all day and they're tired, so they go home and they just like watch TV the rest of the night. So depends on the kids. And okay, I read that. Hey, welcome back, Victoria. Is your Wi-Fi better? Microsoft Solitaire is my time-wasting vice. Nice. I'm getting one of those. Fun toy looks addictive. It is. Do you curse? Just curious. Yeah, I do. Hi, Midnight. Midnight, you're late. You're 2 hours late. I'm just kidding. I wasn't live at midnight. Actually, I think I was, but I was in the private group. Okay. Quick commercial break. I would like to take a moment to promote our newest brand sponsor. This broadcast is actually brought to you by GoGo Pick, and I have one here that I can show you physically. And some of you have seen this. Oh, it looks like my eyeballs. Wait, which way this way? Some of you have seen this on my gym broadcasts. It is a 2 suction cup device held together by a hard piece of plastic. So this isn't, I know it kind of looks like some kind of rubber band, but it's not. It's hard. And it's drilled through the suction cups right here. So see that white part? So this is very sturdy. It's not going to fall apart. It's not a flimsy thing. When I saw pictures of it, I thought this was like a rubber band. I thought this was easily going to come apart and it was like flexible. It's not. It's actually really well made, I think. And I've been using it now for, I think, a couple of weeks. I use it pretty regularly. It survives living in my purse just like this. I don't keep it in its little box that it came in. It'll come in a little box like this. Best tool for selfie experts. And it has this little ring on it here, so you can easily unsuction it from whatever you've suctioned it to. So you just stick it right to the back of your phone. My phone is cracked, so don't mind it. So suction it right to the back of the phone. You just push it on like that. Boom, boom. It's suctioned on, and then you suction it to a hard surface. So it can be a whiteboard, it can be some laptops, a mirror, anything that's smooth, anything that you can suction something to, right? If it's a rippled surface, that's not going to work, but any kind of hard, polished, cleaned surface, it'll suction right onto, and then when you're ready to take it off, you just pull on this, boop, clean. And what's really cool about this, there's a couple extra things. Not only are they supporting this channel and making this content possible, but they're also offering a NextJuice promo code. So the promo code is NextJuice01, NextJuice01, and I think the N is capitalized, but you might want to try both ways. It's only $10 for this. And so with 10% off, you get $1 off, right? So it's only $9. And $1 of all the proceeds goes to a educational program called eSynergy. It's a charitable organization that helps to provide educational services, school supplies, after-school activities to marginalized students. So let me show you guys. Let me bring it up on the screen here. Did that pop up? Okay, so this is the product itself. GoGo Pick. It's gogopick.net. gogopick.net. gogopic.net. gogopick.net. Allows smartphones to stick firmly on cleaned and polished surfaces. Glass, mirror, whiteboards, plastic, polished metals, tiles, etc. For recording videos, group photos, selfies, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. Hey, come back. FaceTime, Skype. Everything is hands-free. And not only, so like it said on here, it's not just for recording and taking images, but it's also for watching. So, you can just put this on your mirror in the morning when you're brushing your teeth, you're doing your morning routine. If your phone's waterproof, you can suction it right into your shower and just watch something or listen to something right there without having to hold it or balance it precariously in some area, right? So here are the different colors it comes in: blue, pink, black, and white. The one that I just showed you here is the one I have here. It's black suction cups with the white band. And I think my personal favorite is the black on black. And so far it seems like that's the most popular of the people. And my audience has been the black on black. So again, you can see it's only $9.99. You get 10% off with promo code NextJuice01 and $1 of the proceeds goes to support underprivileged students at esynergyorganization.org. And you can see some of the photos here on how you might want to use it. Look, there's an example of the shower like I was talking about. Here. It also kind of doubles as a pop socket. See how it sits on your phone? So it gives you a little leverage so you can hold the phone a little bit better too. Look, this person's able to suction it right to their car dashboard. What is this on here? I'm not sure what that is there. But here's eSynergy. Educational synergy to brighter futures. Working collectively to provide opportunities for marginalized youth through academic achievement. So they help underprivileged students with school supplies, after-school activities, and mentorship. So you can actually donate directly to them if you like as well by going to esynergyorganization.org. But $1 of every sale that they make on the GoGoPick website goes to that organization. $1 of the proceeds goes to support the students. So you get $1 off, and that dollar goes basically right to the kids for education. So you can kind of see that one of the things this charity has done is that they raised $1,600, which helped 70 students. And that's just $1,600. I mean, I think that could be so much more. So I think that's a really, really cool company. And I want to say a big thank you to GoGoPick for making this channel possible and being a sponsor. I'm very proud to represent you guys. And I hope that a lot of you guys in the audience will go out and buy the GoGoPick to support the students, to support this channel, to support GoGoPick, and kind of keep the positivity flowing. And I hope it'll be really useful for you guys too. I mean, I love it, and it's really light too. So I just keep it right in my purse. It's so easy. And you know where I use this the most is at the gym. So if you use something to track your workouts at the gym, whether it's an app or like I use just Google Docs. I write all my exercises in with the weights and how many reps and sets I do. Well, this just allows me to suction it right to the machines at Planet Fitness. And, you know, my boyfriend has like a magnet in his case. Anytime he takes the case off, the magnet can fall out. But also anytime we go like to a hotel or something, any kind of like swipe card, it ruins it with the magnet in his phone case. So I don't love the magnet idea. It also doesn't always stay on. The magnet isn't always like strong enough to what you're trying to attach it to. So this is like, this suctions on there. I mean, it's actually suctioned to my hand right now. So it's really, really awesome. I love this so much. So that again is gogopick.net. Get 10% off with the promo code NEXTJUICE01. NEXTJUICE01 is the promo code. Website is gogopic.net, and you can get your GoGoPick today for about $9 and help to send $1 to the eSynergy organization as well. So it'll be like your good deed for the day and treating yourself to a really handy little device. Thanks, GoGoPick. I did enjoy Hera's. My birthday? T-Bone, who are you talking about? I'll be using this product for nefarious purposes in the shower. Let's just hope they don't watch the replay. Ad block. Yeah, I do have ad block. It's pretty nice, right? Yeah, Kyle, I hope that you'll get one. Jeez. Oh my God. Yeah, and if you get it for yourself and you're an overprivileged student, then, you know, all of the money goes to support students. Or you can get it as a gift. So if you know someone who's a creator, so any live streamers that you know that you want to get them a little gift, it's a great gift idea. Or if you have like, you know, even kids in your family that like to make YouTube videos or just, you know, are on their phone all the time, maybe even your spouse, someone who likes to like watch videos, YouTube videos, or listen to podcasts all the time, this can be a nice device to get them as a gift too. Now I can make my premium snap. Wow, you guys all went there with the shower, didn't you? Treadmill girl, yay. Hey, that's me. Hey, Chris. Octopus tentacle technology. Oh, because the suction cups. This GoGoPick was inspired by octopi. Why a whiteboard? Like if you're using that as a reference, like say you're writing something out on a whiteboard, giving some type of presentation, you can have your notes there. You can have something that you're sharing on the screen. Lots of different reasons. Like if you had like a big iPad or something, you could probably just use two of the GoGoPicks on each corner, put that up there. Some bored person. Wait, what? I'm reading this backwards. You're in the airport outfit again. I do usually wear this shirt to the airport. Wow, you really do pay attention, Layers. I had to restart my phone. Okay. Did you just say boobs? What's happening? Good gay stuff. Okay, wow, really high quality viewers at 2 a.m. Hi, Ever. Oh, why not a blackboard? I mean, I don't know if it would stick to a blackboard if you cleaned it, right? If it didn't have too much chalk residue on it. I know you're making a race joke. I'm just saying. Hi, D. You texted your ex and you kind of regret it. YOLO. All right. Awesome, guys. So go get your go-go pick. Let's get back to the book. Another thing that I think is important that this book talks about, let me read the actual chapter title so I can use his words, since a lot of these book reviews are my take on what they say in the books, which is working in the business. Thinking when you should be working is one of the subtitles of that chapter. And we're blurry. Let me fix my camera real quick. So a lot of entrepreneurial information says, make sure that you're spending more time working on your business than in your business. And that's fine. But work in your business too. Until you're making quite a lot. Okay, Jay, nobody cares at all. So make sure that you're spending a lot of time working in your business when you're under a certain threshold. So another book that I read, big surprise, is called Profit First. And he talks about how up until you're at about $200,000, I think he might be talking net per year, then you're not really ready to kind of outsource all the information or all of the work and just work exclusively on the business rather than in the business. So for the first few years of your business, most likely, you're working in the business a lot. And it's important to do that and remember that you have to actually do the work, especially when you're starting out with a business. You're doing most of the jobs. So if you create an organization chart with the CEO and the CFO and the CTO and the IT department, the customer service department, the sales department, the marketing department, and you were to fill all these roles, it's you. Your name goes in every single spot in that organization chart. Over time, you might be able to outsource little bits and pieces. Maybe you have a graphic designer. Maybe you have a website developer. Maybe you end up hiring somebody to help with your marketing. Maybe you have a personal assistant. But when you first start out, it's just you in all those spots. And that's actually a good exercise to do, is make that organization chart and realize how many jobs you're doing. And that's going to help you to prioritize the most important thing. And you'll start to realize the things that you're neglecting, the things that you're not doing that a high-level business would need to be focusing on so that you can stay balanced as well. You want to be imbalanced in the right way. So you want to be imbalanced towards being the best at what matters most, right? The most important things. But you don't want to be never doing the other things either, right? Eventually you have to, it might not be that important to clean your toilet the day after you just cleaned it, but after like a week or a month, it becomes a little bit more important. So these things that aren't important one day, these things shift and change, and the most important thing changes each day. And that a lot of times we overestimate, it goes both ways, right? So we overestimate how long something's going to take. The things that we don't want to do, in our mind, we feel like, oh, it's going to take forever. It's going to be so annoying and complicated. It's going to be so much work. And we procrastinate it forever. And when we finally do it, it was like, okay, that took like an hour. It was like nothing. It was so easy. And I can't believe I procrastinated it and thought about it for that long, right? Thinking when we should be working, thinking about it instead of taking action on it, and just getting that over with. We don't have to think about it anymore. Now we can move on. Another great way to keep yourself from thinking about the same thing over and over is to write it down. Get it out of your head and onto paper so you free up some of that mental space to focus on the tasks that you're actively engaged in. On the flip side, sometimes we think things are going to be a breeze and they're going to be really quick and short, and I'll just start that at 11:30 and by 12 I'll be ready to go for that appointment. And then you realize, oh my God, why did I think I was going to be able to get ready that fast? So you kind of sometimes you think things are going to take more time than they will, and sometimes you think they're going to take less time than they will. So becoming more aware of time management, these things will help you to manage your life and prioritize the things that matter most, and really be able to block out your schedule in a really effective way. And I encourage you to reward yourself when you do that most important thing. Once you get the most important thing on your list done every day, reward yourself for doing something you didn't want to do, something that you were procrastinating, something that you just didn't feel like doing. Reward yourself when you go to the gym, when you, deal with some customer that you didn't want to deal with, or you pay a bill that you were putting off, whatever it is for you, give yourself a little reward. For me, I get to watch an episode of Survivor. That's the way that I play this little jigsaw puzzle on my phone. It's like a 40-minute episode or something like that, maybe an hour with commercials or something. It's like I take an hour, I reward myself, and then I get back to work or go to bed or whatever. I love you too, Salins. After taco, I do talk about a lot of stuff. Thanks for noticing. After taco night, usually. Wait, what? I am the CEO. Yep, that's true. Well, no, you're not, because you're actually a distributor. Unless you're talking about CEO of something else. Are you a TikTok person now, Matt? Hi. Thank you, Dave. You have a good night, too. Thanks for inviting, Matt. Thanks, Garrett. Michael, thanks for sharing on Twitter and Facebook. Hey, Chris. Hey, Hassan. Chris is a monthly sponsor, and so is Matt. They're both monthly supporters of this channel. On this list here, there's Chris. And, oh, you know what? I forgot to move you up on the list, Matt. I think you're down here, though, but I do have to move some people around. Anyway, love you, too. All right, so what else do we have in this book? I'm going to just shout out the names of the chapters. The only strategy you will ever need. Pretty true. It's really not that complicated. So that's what I'm talking about. Simplicity versus, easy. It's not always easy to do the most important thing and prioritize the most important thing, but it's very, very simple. It's really not that complicated. So good at the basics that you're cutting edge. This is important. We get so excited about the frills and the whistles and the bells, and we're like, ooh, I could do this really cool out there thing. An example for me in my business was virtual reality. I thought, oh yeah, I could start doing virtual reality broadcasts on my channel. And then I realized people don't really want to see like an avatar version of me. They want to see me, right? It's real, it's human, it's connection. That's what our focus is. So by getting distracted by that, wasn't helpful. And I almost actually destroyed my business by trying to broadcast to all the different live platforms that I wanted to broadcast to every single day. So instead of focusing on my most important thing, which is Periscope, where most of my income comes from, I was going live on Instagram, where you can't monetize at all. Nobody sends money through Instagram. It's not possible to do. I was going live on Twitch, where I was monetizing, but I was getting less of the money that people were sending through Twitch than I get through Periscope. And the vast majority of people supporting me on Twitch were people that just came from Periscope. They just followed me over there. And YouTube, which also I have not successfully monetized because I don't have enough watch time. So I was going live on 4 platforms every single day, and I almost destroyed my business by doing that, by getting distracted, by not focusing on the most important thing, and by trying too many. Thank you, Walt, for following me on Instagram, for trying too many different things all at once. I was not focusing on the basics. So being so good at the basics that you're cutting edge, that you nail things that seem so basic and people get bored, right? So entrepreneurs, we're big thinkers, we're future thinkers. We're like, oh, we could try this, we could evolve into this, we can add this product, we can add this service, we can do this, blah, blah, blah. And then we kind of neglect the basics of what really is our lifeblood of our business, whether it's the employees or the product or service itself or the customer service, like the basic things of every business. Making sure that we're so good at that people are just blown away by every time they engage with our customer service department. They are just, or with us, if we are the customer service department, they just feel like, wow. I get feedback a lot. I answer every message that I get, as long as it's not sexual or weird. And by weird, I mean sexual, pretty much. Direct messages, emails, comments, everything I get, I at least like it. I read it. I read everything. I'm at a level that I'm not so famous or popular online that I can't read everything. And I get back to everyone every week. On Mondays, I read everything, I get back to everything that needs to be gotten back to, and I follow through on what I say that I'm going to do. And people just love that. I go live every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day. I get feedback all the time that people are impressed. How do you do that? How do people try to do 100-day long live stream challenges, and a lot of times they don't see it through. They can't do it. They just can't go live every day for 100 days. They're like, how do you do this? And it's like the basics, right? I'm a live streamer, so going live is a basic part of my business. I say I'm going to do it, so I do it. And to me, it's very basic. But yeah, if I'm better at it than anybody else, that's cutting edge. I stand out. I'm now a big fish in a small pond. Thank you, Kieran, for the super hearts. Thank you. The problem of having too many SKUs in the product world. Well, this is actually, Chris, you actually just hit on something also really important. If your customer feels they have too many options, they have a FOMO, okay, fear of missing out. If you have 50 ice cream flavors, it takes them longer to decide, which might take more of your time, right? Somebody standing there at the counter waiting for them to place their order as they look at all the different options for ice cream. And then when they get something, they're not as satisfied as they would be if you had less choices, because they feel like maybe I should have gotten something else. Maybe something else would have been better. Maybe I wanted something different. If you have 3 ice cream flavors, vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, most of us pretty much know which of those 3 we prefer, and we're going to feel really satisfied that we made the right choice. So customer satisfaction goes up as the choices and products and services available to them go down. And I noticed I had this revelation with my own business in 2019, the year that just ended, that I had a lot of these like little things that I was selling, but none of them were really wildly successful. And I can focus, there's so many different things I can promote with my business that, the one thing I focus on is the thing that's always most successful. But it's like I don't have so many different things, but I do kind of feel like simplification can be a really valuable key here. So that's an important part of, if you have too much going on, it's also more complicated for your software system, right? You try to scan in a barcode and you don't have the item. You're like, oh, you got to enter this item in. You have so many products to keep track of. I remember at my old job when I was still an employee a few years back, we moved into a software system. We used to I worked there when we had to manually write up the receipts. We would write by hand every item that was sold, and then we just entered in the dollar amount into our system. So we didn't really know what we were selling, what we were moving. Inventory was a big problem. And when we moved to that inventory system, an actual system where we scanned items and had an actual barcode scanner and the actual product popped up on the screen, we had so many random things that we sold. There were so many things. And some of these things we barely ever sold. I mean, some of these things have been sitting there since I started working there, and I worked there for 6 years. And it was just like, okay, that was a big aha moment. We need to simplify and focus on the basics and focus on the things that people actually want, and not feel like, oh, but if we don't have this in stock, and somebody comes in for it, then we won't have it. Well, yeah, okay, maybe, but you could also have that in stock and have spent that money, and it takes 10 years to get the profit, or nothing because it expires, or it's just like it gets damaged by being in the warehouse, or whatever it may be. We want to see you do virtual reality split screen so we can see you react but also see the VR. I've actually done that before, Chris, with Taylor Moon. Okay, I'm going to miss you too, and I dream of me. Hey, Barack, good morning. I am happy. What do you mean finally? I feel like I've been happy for a very long time. Okay, I'm not gonna engage. I like happy Taylor over mad Taylor and sad Taylor. What? Okay, fine, I have other feelings too. Pineapple. Strawberry. Cherry. Look at that guy sent cherries. Okay, it wasn't me, Rody, it wasn't me. Oh, this is fun. All right. So that was so good at the basics that you're cutting edge. So think about that. And this book takes you through that as well. Again, if you just got here, this is the book I'm reviewing. This book takes you through connecting with your business. What are the basics? What is the really foundation of your business and what it's built off of? What's most important? Rather than getting distracted by all the extra things that you could have, what's really most important? That person said exit the tits. Oh my god. My face is getting so red. Exit the tits. Oh my I cannot. MLM. Kyle, it's not an MLM. You can't get any money from me for signing people up. There's really only one way to get money from me, and I'm not allowed to promote it while I have super hearts turned on, but I promise you it's not an MLM. But nice try. Nice try. All right. It's more like PBS. It's viewer funded. If you want to support the channel, because you obviously love it so much, go to nextjuice.com/support. The link is in the profile. Thank you for reminding me to promote that. All right, deciding what matters most. We talked about that, different strategies for prioritizing. If you guys really want to know the breakdown for the Eat That Frog strategy, let me know and I'll tell you. Who says exit to them? He means like he wants them to exit the shirt, I believe. Oh my god, I gotta remember that one. That's a good one. I gotta text Katie that one later. Or Sonam, go into Sonam's broadcast and be like, exit the tits. Hair check. That's a little better. No, thank you. Come again. All right. Different answers, all of them right. So in this chapter, he actually gives a bunch of different business examples and different things that they choose to focus on. One point that he makes that's a really good point is, have you ever worked somewhere, I think I've talked about this on here before, where they have like the 7 major tenets of customer service and the 5 basic strategies to getting the sale and the 3-step process to greeting a customer and the top 10 bullet points of our mission statement, and it's like all these different things. It's like your employees are never going to remember all that. You probably don't even remember all those things offhand. You need something simple enough to remember, and that is your focus. You have to drill down and focus on probably something that's like 5 or less things, because even a list of 5 things can be challenging for people to really keep in front of mind. So 3 is probably ideal, and 1 is amazing. If you have the one major thing that you're focusing on, it's so easy to keep your employees accountable, and your customers will know what's most important to your business, because everyone will be on the same page, and it'll be really easy for everyone to understand what the focus is. If you have like 15 different things that you claim are important to you or part of your mission statement, it gets watered down and it's unclear really what to focus on at any given time. Chapter 6 is relevance, innovation, and constant improvement. So always getting better, right? It's right in the title, being the best. You don't just wake up and be the best. You have to work at it. It's constant, consistent, persistent improvement. Lost the word for a second there. That's what it says, constant improvement. 7 is culture, focus, and more focus. So that's actually what I was just talking about with your company culture. If you can really focus and drill down, that's going to be best. 8 was working in the business. We talked about that. 9 said 3. So chapter 9 is actually 3 is the magic number. So having 3 main things that you focus on. And then he again gives multiple different companies that have those things. One that I actually remember is the G3 approach, which is greet, guide, gratitude. Actually, I've been trying to implement that more on my channel since reading this book again. Greet the customer. Hi, Kieran. Guide them. Feel free to support this channel at the link in the profile, nextjuice.com/support. And then when they do, thank you so much for supporting this channel. I really appreciate this. I couldn't do this without you guys. Greet, guide, gratitude. Chris, thank you for the super hearts. G3. And if you're teaching an employee that's pretty easy to do. And if they make a mistake or they lose a sale, you can kind of think, okay, well, how was your greeting? How did you guide them? And did you express gratitude? Even if you're saying thank you for your time, like I'll even say like thanks for coming in, thanks for being here, thanks for watching. It's not just if people support, I'm G3ing. You're G3. Is that gratitude? Thank you. What are you guiding me to do? You did greet me. I know that much. And you said you love me. All right. Number 10, winning and losing inside the box. So some of the subtitles here are, there aren't any shortcuts, right? That kind of goes back to working in the business. You can't just immediately start working on the business and not spend any time doing the work. Deliver on your promise every time. Now here's a trick to this. Under promise and then over deliver. Because if you make too many promises and then if you over promise and under deliver, that leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. They feel they're much less likely to become repeat customers if you don't deliver on a promise that you make. So if you say that you're going to be on a call with them at a certain time, be on that call. If you are a content creator and you have a Patreon account, or like I have on my PayPal tiers when you go to the support page, and it says that for this dollar amount you're going to get this in exchange, make sure you give that in exchange. If they're supposed to get a postcard from you every single month, make sure you mail out postcards to them every single month. Otherwise, they're going to reflect back and say, I've been supporting this person, I haven't gotten the things I was promised, and they might even search for a refund because you said you were going to deliver something and you didn't. So you might actually end up going backwards on money in that case, if it's an actual financial exchange. But even if it's not. So this is good for relationships, right? If you promise your partner that you're going to have a date night on this day and this time, follow through. Make that happen. If that's not happening, you're in the hospital, right? There's an emergency that couldn't happen. You're broken down on the side of the road. Your car just exploded. Not exploded, but like your engine or whatever. I mean, it better be a damn good excuse if you're making a promise that you don't follow through on. And that goes for yourself too. If you make a promise to yourself, I'm not going to eat any more food after dinner tonight. I'm going to go to the gym today or in the morning or whenever it is, right now. I'm going to meditate. Whatever it is that you're promising yourself, follow through on that. Don't break a promise to yourself. You're just as worthy and valuable of keeping promises to as anybody else. If you're not going to keep a promise to yourself, then how can you be mad if other people don't keep their promises to you? Lucas, you're 14? Go to bed. Hi, our club. I'm guiding you into glory through goofiness. Are those your G3? This is ridiculous. ABC. Always be closing. There you go. There's the 3. But that's kind of just one, in a way. I mean, it's 3 letters, but it's one concept. I always forget how long your hair is. Yay! I'm growing it. Growing. Going and growing. Hey, R, you're up late too. Look at all you late night people. I love this. You're in bed? Okay, good. You're not supposed to be on Periscope, though, because it's for people, I think, 16 or 17 and up. What have you missed? Don't ask me a question like that. We've been live for an hour and 3 minutes. I cannot recap. But one thing I can tell you is that, well, actually here, why don't we take a quick commercial break? I would like to promote Organo Gold, the Gold Cafe. You can see them here. They support this channel on a monthly basis. Matthew Gold is in the chat right now with his organic coffee. Organic coffee. I think they have non-organic options too, depending on your price point. They have tea, they have protein products, they have skincare products, all sorts of good stuff at at shopog.com. Shopog.com. OG, pretty easy to remember. Original Gangsta. Also Organo Gold. Am I saying that right, Matt? I'm glad he's here right now. Shopog.com. I just went to it and it says it's unavailable. Am I typing that in right? Shopog.com. You can also place your order through Matt directly through PayPal, and he can place the order through the system himself. I think it might be down for maintenance at the moment. That's what it says. So I can't exactly show it to you guys right now, but I did try. And you can still go right through Matt right there, the Gold Cafe. Contact him and he can show you whatever specials, promotions they're offering right now. He can show you the best products, a lot of good stuff. So all sorts of different types of coffee. They have latte, black coffee, instant coffee. They have different kinds of teas, black teas, green teas, and actually skincare products, which I didn't even realize they had until recently. I don't know if you see this thing, but I should probably check into the skincare products myself. But I have had some of the tea. I don't really personally drink coffee, but my boyfriend does. He likes some coffee. I like the tea. Last time I was sick, I actually drank the green tea, and it was really good. Chris has never had coffee. Here's your chance. Shopog.com. Get yourself some coffee. Get some. What is coffee? How many of you are drunk right now? Let's go to Google. Define coffee. A hot drink made from the roasted and ground seeds, coffee beans, of a tropical shrub. The shrub of the bedstraw family that yields the coffee seeds, 2 of which are contained in each red berry. Native to the Old World tropics, most coffee is grown in tropical America. Thanks, Google. even made it through graduate school. I didn't know you had your graduate degree. That's impressive AF. I can't believe you've never had coffee. Like, what? What? That's crazy. I like hazelnut coffee. Do you have hazelnut coffee, Matt? All right. Where were we? Deliver on your promise every time. Don't take your eyes off the ball. If you win on the basics, you win it all. That's a reiteration of the previous concept. Bells and whistles wear off. Okay, a lot of reiteration in that chapter. Random versus consistent. Random versus consistent. What do you think your customers are going to value more? What do you think your employees are going to value more? What do you think your spouse is going to value more? What do you think your children are going to value more? Random, sometimes you fly off the handle and go crazy with punishment. Sometimes you ignore the kid. I mean, consistent. Be consistent in your approach to all of your life. There's another great book called, actually I think I have it right here. Oh God, how many books are going to fall off my desk when I try to pick up this one? I have a very precarious leaning tower of books over here. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So profound. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So how are you doing? Is there some area of your life where you feel like you're really struggling? And think, what's causing you to struggle there? And is it something that is kind of making its way into everything in your world? And how can you change that? A lot of times it's changing mindset, changing a thought, changing a belief that you have about that. And if you want to share it with me, I can try to help you dig into what that might be. Oh, yeah. So in this chapter, too, he has a little sub portion called What a Wonderful Story. So you have this great story about this awesome time that you helped this customer. You really went over, above, and beyond. You drove to their house and you brought the product. You made good on whatever kind of crazy thing happened. It was a snowstorm and it was Christmas Eve. And, you just you nailed it. And you have this amazing story and you share it with your employees and you have it as a testimonial on your website. It's like, yeah, what a great story. Okay, great, but is that consistently what your customers can expect from you? Is that what you want your employees to do every single time? Is that the consistent level of service that you're giving? Because you present it, right, as your standard of service, but is that really the standard? Is that really the consistent, sustainable results that you're going to be putting out with your business? I took a little nap, Tracy. I'll sleep after this. I do have to do stuff in the morning, but I gotta follow through on my promise every time. And I love this. I love talking about this stuff. I love all the people that are here right now. I just love being live. I love my life. I'm good. I'll sleep tomorrow afternoon. I'll sleep after this for a few hours too. I almost always get 8 hours of sleep. So even if I only sleep 5 or 6 hours at night, I usually take a little nap in the day for 2 or 3 hours. The trap, let's do more. So we talked about this, right, with too many options and when you feel okay, we've really nailed this, we really have these basics down, let's add on more. This was in that Profit First book that I mentioned as well, where you want to grow, you have this focus on growth. How quickly can we grow and expand and add on, but focus on profits, maximize those profits. If you don't add anything on and you're nailing it, your profits will grow. And then you'll kind of know when the time is to strike to change something. Another great book, I've literally recommended 10 books in this broadcast. This broadcast is gold. If you're not supporting this channel, why? nextjuice.com/support. This is great stuff. I could say this because I know that it's true. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? And it uses the metaphor of mice in a maze and them finding cheese. So they sniff their way to the cheese. They get to the cheese. Then they eat all the cheese. The cheese is now gone. And now they have an option. They can sit there and they can wait for more cheese to show up. And the thing is the experimenter, the scientist, keeps putting the cheese back in the same spot. And the rats go to the same place. They always find the cheese and there's cheese. And they go back and they find cheese and they go back and they find cheese and they go there and they find cheese and the cheese is always in the same spot. This is gold, right? The Gold Cafe. Yes! Nail it. They find cheese every time. One day, there's no cheese there. So they're okay, well, we're going to wait around. We're going to wait for some cheese. there's a few different, I think there's like mice and people, and, you know, we don't have to get into the whole story of the book, but you have a choice. You can sit there and you can wait for more cheese to show up, or you can sniff your way on to the next area where there might be some more cheese. And here's the reality. You might not find cheese out there either, but there's damn sure no cheese over there, so why sit there and wait for more cheese to come up? Be sniffing around, look for changes. Is the cheese starting to get a little old? Is it getting a little moldy? Is there, do you smell some different kind of cheese maybe over here? Maybe go over there, check it out, see if there's some cheese. You know, you can always go back to the old cheese place, but you can also venture into some new options, especially when the cheese starts to dry up. All right, and the cheese is success, right? So it's with business, it's like, let's say, cash flow, profit. So, you know, with the internet, before the days of the internet, there were probably a lot of businesses that got really damaged by the internet coming around and not being willing to change and adapt and figure out where the new cheese was going to come from. So you'll know, hopefully you'll know, and you have to be ready and willing to change when it's time to do that. But you don't have to constantly be changing, because again, that's going to give a random experience for your audience. And a lot of times they just want consistency. Even when I just changed the name of my channel, some people still struggle with that. Like, it's, you know, one little change and it's like, oh, I just want everything to be consistent. And some people are very resistant to change, and that's not really my problem either. But, you know, realize that your customers are just like everyone else, and they don't love a lot of massive change all the time. So be careful as you just keep adding more and more things. Ketchup is not a tomato smoothie. Ketchup has vinegar in it and sugar. Be proactive. The company gave us that book to read, then they laid off everyone. I heard about that with Who Moved My Cheese. Yeah, I've actually heard that story from a few people. My old business, they told us to read that book, and then if you read it, you got a pie. They like bought you a pie, and I was like, I don't want the pie, but I read the book, and I didn't take the pie. Because why would I need an entire pie? What is that menu? Oh, these are the people that have supported the channel over the last 30 days. Thanks for asking, Pushkar. These are the reason that we can be here with you guys. Plus, in addition to our brand sponsors like we talked about today, Modern Mom Soaps, Go Pick, and Organo Gold Coffee. I know that book. Oh my god. Karen has like PTSD from that book. Training. Hey, PTS. Change is constant. Yes. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Ooh, I like that. Yes. Hey, Alan. Good to see you too. Welcome back, Dave. Never got to discuss that super narcissistic book you reviewed last week, Entrepreneur versus Employee. Okay. What would you like to discuss? I discussed it. You still haven't, but maybe now's a good time to do it as we're talking about business. All right. Clarity, process, and profit. Bites of knowledge. So this is actually a lot of like basically looking at one company and how they went through it. So pretty anecdotal. Certain things like plug the holes in the bucket, you know, make sure, see where you're losing water, kind of basic business concepts, like see where you're losing resources and plug that hole and change it, improve the process or the system, or remove that completely from your system. Workflow and time tracking. We talked about that, becoming more aware of time, seeing how long things actually take, blocking out time on your schedule so you can see if you've got a good feel for how long things take. And you're going to want to document these things for when you hire out the different positions. They have to be able to do it in a reasonable time, and therefore you have to know what a reasonable time is. Most of the time when you hire someone, they're not going to do things as quickly or productively or as efficiently, effectively as you are. But unless you want to be permanently attached to your business, you'll have to take a little bit of a decrease in quality a lot of times when you hire people. You don't need terrible people, but you know, don't compare everyone to yourself. Figure out what's an adequate amount of output and hold them to that standard. Be realistic in your expectations. Hey, India. I'm good. How are you? Smart words. Thanks. It's from the book. It's not, a lot of them, it's not my words. If your goal is to be self-employed or business owner, okay, maybe, but still, the whole thing shit on being an employee. Yeah, I could have made that point that, you know, this isn't necessarily an employee mindset as much as it is just, you have like the difference between oftentimes a growth mindset and a non-growth mindset. You can still be creative leader being an employee. Yeah, for sure. I always was. But then I became an entrepreneur. So, I mean, I always feel like I have an entrepreneurial brain. And I feel like a lot of my friends who are high-level employees also have entrepreneurial type brains, even though they're not actually entrepreneurs. So I probably should have explained that a little bit. It just didn't come up in the chat, and I wasn't thinking down that line, so it didn't. But I definitely agree with you, as usual. Hi, Scott. How's it going? Some people thought I was in Vegas the other day when I was in Atlantic City. Checklists, right? But remember, with your checklist, don't worry about crossing off all of the things. Oh, well, I guess a checklist is actually, sorry, not a to-do list. So a checklist is again, doing systems and processes. I wouldn't say this book is great for actually building out systems and processes with your business. I would personally recommend a book by John Warrillow. Guys, this broadcast is amazing. Called Built to Sell. Built to Sell. Great book this is only for entrepreneurs, business owners, employers. This is not for, if you don't own the company that you work for, don't get that book. It's not necessary. But it's called Built to Sell, and it's about the importance of having a business that doesn't rely on you being there the entire time. So you have to have systems, processes, documented checklists, like this is talking about. Set a standard and hold your employees to it. I do every day. Awesome. Good. That's excellent. Nobody's perfect, but as long as they're mostly, they can have an off day here and there, but. And when you have that standard, it takes it so it's not personal, right? So here's the expected output. If they're below that output, you just say, hey, what's up? What's going on? Is everything all right? It's not like, what's wrong with you? It's kind of like, well, this is the expectation. And then if they can't get it to that expectation and they have to be let go, it's not personal, right? This is what you agreed that you were going to do. You weren't able to do it. I have to find someone who is able to do it. No hard feelings, hopefully. Easier said than done, right? Don't put restrictions and borders on anything. I disagree. I have a lot of boundaries with what I'm comfortable with relationships for sure, and like my time. I think boundaries for me are one of the things I think a lot of people do not have, especially I find with women, and a lot of the women live streamers that I work with and are friends with and talk to is like, they don't seem to have really clear boundaries. So then when somebody crosses a boundary that they kind of had suddenly, like it's like they allow someone to cross this boundary for like months, and then they're just like, boundary, and then they block them, and it's kind of like, whoa, like you didn't even make that boundary clear at all. Like pre-qualify, set expectations, set boundaries, have restrictions and make them clear so that people know when they're out of line. And I think that's important for employers to do with their employees as well. If I'm on vacation, the business runs perfectly without me. Well, I think that you should have boundaries with your employees, right? There are things that are appropriate, not appropriate, expectations, things that are out of line, things that you can't and shouldn't say or do. Being late. There's a lot of restrictions. I feel like with employees, especially. I mean, what do you mean for yourself? Like, the sky's the limit, kind of thing. For sure, yeah, I agree with that too. Like having an abundance mentality. Understanding employees matters. The value of understanding. One of the key ways to help understand what people are saying is to say back to them what you think they're saying. This is something I really struggle with and want to get better at doing. I'm feeling like right now I'm not even doing that with our club, and I should be. So it's, who is the psychologist that came up with this concept? Jung. I believe it's Carl Jung. And it's repeating back to them what you think they're saying, because this is very powerful. Not only are you increasing understanding, your own understanding, but you're also kind of reflecting back to them what they seem to be saying or presenting. And it reflects your own mind too, right? So you can be interpreting it your own way, but you're kind of like, you're their sounding board, right? So someone's talking to you, whether you're their therapist, he's a psychologist, or not, whether you're just their friend or their employer or whatever it is, you represent general society from their point of view. So the way you perceive it and receive it and interpret it is the same way probably many other people would as well, or at least some other people. So it helps them to refine and clarify their message and maybe put things in a different way if you're not understanding what they're saying. And then it can also help to simplify the message. So what takes them 20 minutes to spit out, and then you repeat back to them in maybe 5 minutes. Okay, what I think you're saying is this, and then this, and this, and this, and it takes you a few minutes. And then they say, yeah, exactly. Okay, well, you just boiled it down from 20 minutes to 5, or even less. Maybe you can get it down to like 1 minute. In 1 minute, you can sum up this discussion that you guys have been having for an entire hour, and it's like, it boils down to this. And that's really powerful, because then that increases focus, it increases understanding, it increases focus. So both parties really benefit from that, from boiling it down, drilling down, and getting really crystal clear on what really is the takeaway from this. Last night, I'll use Ray Herring as an example again. She was live last night talking about all these changes with her business, kind of like, from my perspective, it was kind of like a bit all over. Like, I hope that that's not offensive in any way, but it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm thinking about this, I'm also thinking about this, I'm thinking over here too, and I'm thinking of this, and also this. And I said, okay, so the main takeaway I'm hearing, I think, is that you really just want to focus more on music. Like, the music is your main focus, and that's the major takeaway for all of us here today. And she was like, yeah, that's right? So it's like, okay, so that was the main nugget. And if I wasn't really listening and I didn't try to clarify with her, she might say, well, not really, so that's one part, but maybe it's other things too. And we can kind of drill down and say, okay, what's really the reason for this message and this broadcast, and what really are you trying to convey right now to your audience? Because as a streamer, it's very clear, right? I'm live, I'm here with content, I'm here with a message, I'm speaking to an audience, but that's all communication. If you're speaking, the person who's listening to you is your audience. And if you're listening and someone's speaking to you, you're the audience. So the words are interchangeable with just regular communication for people that don't have groups of people they're speaking to either. Focus, yes. Because they know what I know and can do what I do because of training them to be successful. Awesome. If you get what you are assigned done in 20 hours and available the rest of the time. Oh, wait, let me start back at the beginning. Okay. Hey, boo. Yeah, I am up late. And you too, I see. There are known boundaries and outdated boundaries. If you get your work done, why do you need to be checked in, sitting at a desk for 40 hours a week? Yes. Okay, yes, so I read that backwards, but now I completely agree. Michael, hi. I could not agree with you more. I had this exact problem, you probably could have predicted this. I had that exact problem at my 40-hour-a-week job. So I took a job, whatever, long story short, let's try to simplify this. I was able to do in 30 hours what previously took two 40-hour-a-week employees to do. And I told them, I'm going to stop coming in for 40 hours because you guys are just trying to get me to do more people's work. And I'm already doing two people's jobs. And if I switch from 40 hours to 30 hours, you no longer have to pay me benefits, which again, I think is outdated, right? If I'm doing the work, I should still get paid the same as everyone. I actually should get paid more because I'm doing two people's jobs and I wasn't even making it. Let me not complain. Doesn't matter. I work for myself now. And, you don't have to pay me benefits. You don't have to pay me any paid time off, but I'm not going to be here for 10 hours of the week. All right. So that's like 2 hours a day. I'm not going to be here. And and they were like, no, you're going to have to be here for 40 hours. And I said, okay, so should I just put in my 2 weeks notice now? Because I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to sit here for 40 hours for the pay that you're offering me. I've asked for more pay. You're not going to give me more pay. I'm willing to do what I'm doing now for 30 hours, which is how long it takes me to do it. And that's my offer. And if you're not willing to meet me on that, that's fine. You can find somebody else, because the obvious reality is now you're going to have to hire at least 2 more 40-hour-a-week people. It's not going to, I mean, really, and of course they didn't. They weren't like, okay, yeah, you should resign. They were just like, fine, basically, touche, and be aware of that. Be aware of your own value. That they didn't talk about that in this book so much, but that's really important for employees, especially, is to realize the value that you have to your company and be able to assert that value and to get paid for that value, especially the women out there. Stop accepting less pay than men and then being mad about it. Don't do it then. Say you're only going to do it for a certain amount. If you can negotiate in a strong way and realize the power that you have, hopefully we'll be able to fix this whole wage gap situation, because that is bullcrap. I mean, I definitely think that women are fully capable of doing jobs just as well as men, depending on the position. I'm sure there's some arguable, NFL linebackers maybe a little bit different. But in terms of like an office desk job, like what I was working, I was definitely the most effective. I was the best employee of everyone that worked there, hands down. I can guarantee that. I wasn't the strongest, so I couldn't like pick up a stair lift and walk around with it like one other dude can, so he was valuable too for a different reason. But I was definitely, and he wasn't an employee either. So anyway, I said I wasn't going to give too many details. Now I'm just reflecting. Not regarding the Benny. You should be getting paid more. Wait, Benny? What does that mean again? Are we talking about, like, is that money? Pulguita? Why do you think that you're negative? What makes you think that? Hey, Eunice. What you talking, guy? Okay, bye. Have fun at the gym. You match me? Twins. I'm lucky with the position. Get shit done. No one to report to. Just have phone at all times. Yeah. Yeah, and that's tricky. I mean, you should get paid good for that, too, to be on call all the time. Age discrimination in terms of pay. That is BS. Career choice is paramount. Yeah. Hey, Labios. That was the thing. I loved my job. I worked there for 6 years, and I was damn good at it. And I knew I was good at it. My bosses were very complimentary. You know, they knew I was good at it. They told me I was good at it all the time. It was, well, like, and I like that. As you can probably tell, like, I like to be good at stuff. I like to be the best at what matters most. But the pay wasn't worth it. You know, they weren't willing. I was asking for $40,000 a year, and they wouldn't give it to me. I was like, what kind of Twilight Zone crap is this? Like, why? Why are you not willing to pay me, like, probably half of what I'm worth to this company? Why? You know, so I had to leave. Like you said, career choice is paramount. It wasn't worth it for me. Why would I do that? It's exactly what I talked about in the beginning of this broadcast. If you don't get clear on your goals and visions and what you really want, and then prioritize what's important to get you there, you're gonna look around and you're gonna realize that you've been working for someone else's goal and what someone else wanted from their life, and you helped to make that possible at the expense of what you wanted for your life. And that is the most dangerous thing. Don't do that. Don't let that happen to you. I don't speak French, sorry. Bennies, okay. Oh, benefits, yes. It is benefits, yeah, he said that before. Not regarding the benefits, you should be getting paid more. Hi, Labios. $100 bills. That's a Benjamin. Yeah, okay, benefits, yeah. You might want to do something else. Yeah, exactly. And it sucks because I didn't want to do something else. I wanted to do that. I really liked it, and I wanted to take over their business. They were a married couple. They owned this company for over 20 years. I mean, they had it from when I was born, and it was a good company. It had so much potential. I mean, I had visions for that company, like, oh, I wanted to do so much with it. And we had talks of me buying it from them when they were ready to sell it, and I don't have the amount of money that I need to buy it, so I still have that in the back of my mind. Maybe I'd still buy that company, but it's in upstate New York, and I don't really want to move back there, so. But I still love that industry. Durable medical equipment is just something that still holds a special place in my heart, and serving that kind of clientele is like, I loved it. I wish that it, it paid the bills, but I wish it paid what I was worth. But thanks to you guys. You guys pay me what I'm worth, I hope. Lately, I disagree with that, but there's been times that you guys have paid what I'm worth, and I know some of you guys are paying a fair amount for what you get from the channel, so thank you very much. And if you guys would like to do that, if you feel like this channel is worth $5, hopefully a lot more than that, please click the link in the profile, nextjuice.com/support, and help me to keep this channel going so I don't have to do that same thing again where I go, oh, I love this so much, I wish I could keep doing this, but it's not paying what I'm worth, so I'm gonna have to go find something else. It would break my heart extra here because this is my baby, not somebody else's, so please, thank you. All right. Culture drives results. We talked about culture. How brands win. Consistently better at the basics. This is a reiteration. They talk about Amazon, Coca-Cola, FedEx, Apple, Target, Ford, Starbucks, Southwest Airlines, Nordstrom. It works. I assume that's a company. I don't know. French toast. Yay! You guys are all speaking French. This is crazy. Cheers. How the Internet is Killing Hype. This book is a little bit, let me see when this book came out. I don't even really remember anything from that chapter, if I'm honest with you guys. It didn't stand out in my memory, so. Where's the... Here. 2013? That's not that old. Yeah, I don't really remember. Why you bought the chutney. Consumers aren't shy. They're talking about you. I'd like to apologize. Do what you say you'll do. I think it was kind of like about how much, poor online reviews can damage your business, and to remember that, you can't get away with as much now in the age of the internet because people will just say what happened, and people are much more likely to report bad experiences than they are to report positive ones. So. Hello, A-Trey. Greetings to you as well. Hey, NA. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being here. Leadership, and this is about a specific company, Grunder Landscaping Company. The chapter that I talked about right in the beginning, which I think sums up the entire concept perfectly. When everything is pursued, the important is neglected. Remember, you cannot do everything every day, but you can do the most important thing every day. Hey, Z, how are you? Good, welcome back. It's just supposed to be effective, so this chapter is called The Rules You Can Break. One size does not fit all. Basically saying, like, there's no hard and fast rules for a lot of this stuff. What's important to you and what's important to the guy next to you, probably different. And you can kind of, you don't have to do, you don't have to do the G3 strategy. You don't have to do anything in this book. Just do what makes sense for you. And be the best at what matters most in your life, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. Focus 390, what matters the most right now? That's another thing. So what matters the most long term, and then, okay, well, what do I have to do right now? Like, what matters the most to make that? What's the next step for right now so that you can take action and you're not just thinking when you should be working, like what he said in one of the other chapters. Taking action, take out the trash. Someone busier than you is running. It's 11:30. I think that means, like, the clock's about to strike midnight, so do it. Be the best at what matters most. The only strategy you'll ever need. By Joe Calloway. Calloway. I spelled it wrong on Periscope. Sorry, Joe. So I do love this book. I recommend it. I've read it twice now. Thank you, David, for being here. Over on YouTube. Oh, Calabrese, why are you mad? Hey, you're on YouTube? Me too. I'm alive on YouTube right now. Ooh, hamster faxes? Salty. I had a hamster named Ginger, and I cried so much when she died. It was so sad. That's a hamster fact for you. And it's funny that you think these are fake, because they're not. And it's so flattering that you think that my life is fake. That's like, I mean, what could feel better than that? That someone thinks your life is fake. And it's not. And to be like, no, this is my real life. I get to live in this every day. But I would appreciate more. So, hamster, go on over to nextjuice.com/support and send me a real donation so I can put a real donation on my fake list. All right. Love you guys. Any other questions, comments, discussion about this book? Thank you for 8,000 super hearts. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, Tiki. You guys are the same color, little twinnies. Kieran, top contributor of Super Hearts this broadcast with 3,000 Super Hearts. Thank you very much. You're going to get a shout out the first week of February. First week of every month, I shout out the top Super Heart contributors for every single broadcast throughout the month. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Bill, for all the Super Hearts. Yeah, 198.20 from 1982. It wasn't actually from the year 1982. It was from someone who usually likes to remain anonymous, and they send me $198.20 and put a message that said, 1982 was a great year. So I said, okay, I'm just going to put that this is from 1982. Thanks, 1982, for the $198.20. These are the contributors from over the last 30 days. So thank you so hugely much for all of you guys, for all of your support. please help me to keep this going and join the ranks here of awesome people that make this channel possible, especially if you found this valuable. And if you don't know already, this was an extremely valuable broadcast, so please support at nextjuice.com/support. You can also get your brand promoted in front of my audience. I have almost 120,000 followers on Periscope. We're getting closer. We're less than 1,000 away from that goal now. And we also get close to 300,000 views every month on average. So there's times that we get more than that, but the average in 2019 was 287,000 viewers per month. So if you'd like to get your audience exposed to that level of new eyeballs, please go over to nextjuice.com, click the shop button, and you'll see the business promotion product right there. I do plan on building it out a little bit more, hopefully tomorrow, aka later today, but in the meantime, feel free to go over and get that. It's only $50 for 30 days of promotion. You may have heard me already promote Modern Mom Soaps, Organo Gold Coffee, and the Go-Go Pick. So go check out their products, homemade soaps, organic coffees and teas, and the Go-Go Pick, which I have. They actually sent me right here. You know what? I might actually have some Organo Gold Coffee. I might still have some of that. Let me check. So this is the Go-Go Pick, gogopick.net. If you want to get that, remember the promo code is NEXTJUICE01. Let me go just really quick. It would be right in this room over here. Yeah, I do. I have one. This is the Premium Gourmet King of Coffee from Organo Gold. So this is their instant coffee. Ta-da! Cute little packaging. 100% organic. Ganoderma spore powder extract. It looks like their headquarters is out in Washington, and then they also have one in Canada, in British Columbia. Pretty cool. Scottish shortbread. That's funny. That's really specific and random. Are you Scottish? Is that where your name comes from? All right, thanks, guys. So I still have like 20 minutes left, thank you, Rhodey, of content. Like I said, I go live every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day on Periscope. We're live on YouTube right now as well. So I'm gonna, I don't know, I'm probably just gonna go live with like something random for the last 20 minutes because this broadcast is over and I don't want to drag it out longer than it needs to be. Unless you guys want to just play with this toy. Oh, maybe I'll do that on a separate broadcast. I love this thing. Okay, no, let's not start this. Let's not start this. I love you guys. I hope to see you on the next juice. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor. Have a great night, and I hope to see you in just a few minutes where I'll wrap up my last of the 3 hours of content for today, and then I'll be back for 3 more tomorrow. I think we're doing back and biceps at the gym tomorrow. Bye.